Welcome to our pod, and by that I mean on Wednesdays we read. I'm Hannah.
I'm Laura.
And we are two best friends who usually do a deep dive into a new book series, one book at a time. But sometimes we are about to enter Indie Mission.
Indie Mission.
Woo, woo. And we are about to pick an indie author's book to highlight on the podcast for 3 weeks to break down the plot, themes, and character, and hopefully invite them on for an interview at the end of it. This year is a little bit different. If you've been with us for our prior 5 indie missions, you will know that we usually do a voting breakdown on Twitter, Instagram, all the places, Patreon. But this year, Hannah's getting married.
It's a little busy.
It's a little busy. And
the wedding bells are ringing.
They're ringing. And so Indie Mission is being covered in November, but I am getting married at the end of October. So I am also the one who runs the voting.
Yeah. And Laura was like, you know what? Not gonna be in charge of voting.
No, Laura's not going to run it on 6 different places. It is a huge undertaking. We love doing it. We're not saying that this isn't, it's never coming back or things like that. But for
this go round,
we are going to try something new. So we picked a specific amount of books. We picked 12 books to do a bracket breakdown. Please look on ourpod.com for the bracket and what it looks like, but we're going to be running through it here and doing a little bit of a knockout round until we have one winner. So that is very exciting. And we are going to highlight some of the books here for you today, so you know the contenders, and then we will get into voting. So, we're not going to do reading, watching, or enjoying. It's a bonus episode.
This is a bonus. This is all about Indie Mission.
Indie Mission and indie authors. For those of you who have never joined Indie Mission before, Indie is all about focusing on an indie author. It's bringing to light some books you may have never heard of. And a lot of times the voting is done in fun jest. A lot of authors are so supportive when we do Indie Mission. They just want someone to win. They want someone to feel supported. And we've always gone back and forth on the knockout round voting because, people's feelings can get hurt. That's always a concern. But what we've heard from authors is they like it because their book often gets highlighted for days on end.
For a new audience as well.
Yeah, for a new audience. So that is why we have kept doing it, but we are changing it up. So
just for this month or this go round of Indie Mission, we're changing it up just because Hannah thinks that she's got to get married or something like that, I guess.
I think a day should be all about me. No.
Paul's got to be putting a ring on her finger. So,
gosh. I mean, he already did.
Disrupts our voting.
I do have my mom's wedding ring, so it is already on there, but
Paul put a ring on it. But
we're really excited about this lineup. We picked some books that are less than 500 pages, just as a general rule for, again, my sanity.
I wouldn't say as a general rule. It's just we picked them just because, again, Hannah's wedding's coming up, and we were like, let's pick books that are under 500 pages just so we can read something and not feel overwhelmed.
Yes,
like in the month of October when Hannah's getting ready for her wedding.
But all of these authors have been featured on prior Indie Missions, maybe not this particular book, but they have been on before. So that's just a
and most of these have been on for quite a while.
Yeah. And we love them all. They're so kind, so nice. And it's always hard to have these amazing authors and their amazing works and only be able to pick one of them. So we always say the goal is to read every single one of them at some point. So the first up in our lineup in the left bracket is Shadow of Dead God by Patrick Samphire. This is a fantasy novel, and the plot breakdown is it was only supposed to be one little job, a simple curse breaking for Medic Thorne. I love that name.
I know, Medic Thorne is an awesome character name.
What a good
name.
To pay back a favor to his oldest friend, but then it all blew up in his face. Now he's been framed for murder he didn't commit. He has to clear his name and figure out what happened. Bum, bum, bum.
Hannah, we're in like the middle of the Dresden books, and so we're in our urban fantasy era. This could be a really great pick for us.
This could be. You are right. I mean, what a pick. And it is going up against not an urban fantasy.
No.
It is going up against Empire's Daughter by Marian L. Thorpe. This book, the plot is Lena's world is about to change forever, harried from north and south by 2 different enemies, both wanting this last remnant of a greater empire's land. And with invasion imminent, the military leaders see no choice but to ask the unthinkable, that women learn to fight.
We love empowered women.
I
And
love.
I have heard that these books are awesome from somebody that I really respect his opinion, and that is author Jonathan Navarre. He is a big fan of
Yeah.
this series.
I think
So,
he's probably the one who added her to the list early on, and
maybe.
I think he's the one who's championed her each time. So great to know.
Yes.
Next up, another urban fantasy for the urban fantasy era, Fairy Godmurder by Sarah J. Sover. Sarah is a great ad on TikTok if you want. She has
Ooh.
some great videos, but this is Gwendolyn Evanshine. Evenshine. Thought being a fairy godmother would be cut and dried. Take on a charge, solve a royal problem, and return to the academy for her next assignment. But she got too close. When the beloved Princess Francesca is brutally murdered on her watch, Gwen refuses to resume her fairy godmother duties. Instead, she laces her docks and hits the streets of Boston in search of the bastard who took Frankie from her, a serial killer who operates in lunar cycles.
Okay,
This
this one sounds like a
feels
romp.
this is a romp. It sounds very Harry Dresden-esque by a
Yeah,
female
we're getting some of these
author.
urban fantasies this go around.
Ooh, we are getting some urban fantasies. And it is up against a horror comedy revenge arc by Cat Voleur.
This one
Uh,
looks so
this
good.
this one looks, I love the cover so much. So
Yes.
Riley Langdon has never shied from extreme horror, especially not in her deep web revenge comic Red. But now that a cult fandom has put her on a pedestal, she doesn't know how to respond to a mysterious death threat, too much resembling the pages she wrote. As she tries to pick up the pieces of the life she's made for herself, the fandom of Red turns against itself, and an obsessed fan attempts to make the deep web what he hoped it would be. Told in blog
Sounds awesome.
posts, chat logs,
Oh,
emails, and more, it blends horror and mystery for an unforgettable
oh,
experience.
that one
I
sounds so
know.
good.
I love these ones we chose so far. I cannot wait to read all of them. The next up is No Land for Heroes by Cal Black, giving us a little bit of a
Yay.
Western vibe.
Well, and
Uh,
I know that Cal Black is an awesome writer because I read Cal's novella Shattered Spirits for Sphinx, and it was really, really good.
oh, too bad we can't vote on these guys, but we're just doing knockout rounds.
This is just going
So
to be random
this,
generator,
yeah,
like
oh yeah, this is a number generator. I
just
should have said
to
that at the beginning.
just to explain to people this. You and I are not voting because
No.
obviously 50-50, that's two people, it's not going to work.
And we're not going to sit here and just knock out someone's
No, no, no.
book like
No.
you're not going to
This
the
is
next
going to be
round.
computer generated.
Yeah, this is
The power of AI.
the power of AI picking our next read. So No Land for Heroes. In a wild west where the only things more dangerous than outlaws are dragons, Deputy
Yay.
Barry is struggling to protect her town and keep her family fed. As a last resort, she robs a train for ammunition, only to find that the cargo she needs so badly was owned by a war hero, Frederick Rousseau. Plot abound in this
I
one.
also like dragon stories.
I know.
So,
We've had a dragon story before, and it was a good time.
okay, that one was so cute. Miss
I know.
Percy Pocket Guide.
Uh,
Shout it from the mountaintops. I love that book.
this sounds a little bit more Western, a little bit more wild, and it is up against Last Memoria by Rachel Emma
Shaw.
Shaw.
Yeah.
A woman who steals memories in this dark fantasy novel, a person who wants to restore the thoughts he lost, a grim novel with characters galore. So we have some memory
This one gives
stealing.
me a little bit of like just the description of it gives me a little bit of vibes of like Night Circus, and I don't know why, but I feel like you and I love that type of like magical
Mhm.
realism, like a mystery element, and especially anything like psych related, and I feel like we're getting all those vibes from that one.
And the cover is so cool. I love the cover so
Yeah.
much of this with like the
Somebody was talking
wild.
about these books on Instagram recently, and I should have like saved the post, but I didn't. But
uh,
I want to say that they also really love the books, and they were like, why aren't more people talking about these?
well, we're talking about it
We're
right
talking about
now.
them
So
now.
now, right now. And up against Last Memoria is The Living Waters by Dani
Oh,
Finn.
that's in the next bracket, right? Or am I
Yeah,
looking at
sorry. Yeah, we are. You are correct. So that
Sorry.
The Last Memoria cleared up our left bracket. So
Yeah.
6 books going toe to toe, 2 against 2, and then 3, and then a final showdown. One after we pick the 3, a final showdown between the 2. So each side is 6 books, goes
Mhm.
down to 3, goes down to 2. then we pick a winner. So
So now we're on the other side. We're on the
yes, we are
right
on the
side.
right bracket. Living Waters by Dani Finn. When two painted-faced nobles take a guided raft trip on a muddy river, they expect to rough it for a few weeks before returning to their life of sheltered ease. But when mysterious swirls start appearing in the water, even their seasonal guides get rattled. This lures them to seek the mythical wetlands known as the Living Waters.
So I want to say, am I remembering it? Is this one a romantasy?
It is
Because,
more of like I do think it's a little bit of a fantasy, but it's a sword-free fantasy. I remember
okay.
that. Like, so it's going to be a little bit different than some of the fantasy novels we've read in the past of like,
Okay. I know
yeah,
that Dani has been really getting into a lot of the romantasy and a lot
yes.
of the spice. So I wasn't sure if this one fell into
I
that
think this
category
was
or
one of
not.
the earlier ones for them, which is why we're kind of
Okay.
focusing on this one right now. They've had other books up
Hmm.
against in, so they've kind of built a world, but this is very one specific part of the world and one of the earlier books in this like world setting that they have. So
Okay.
great pick. The next is the
The Cruel Gods.
by Trudie Skies, the 13th
Yes.
Hour.
13th Hour.
Trudie Skies, the
Yes.
Cruel Gods.
Awesome
So
cover.
such a good cover. The plot: cruel gods rule the steam-powered city of Chime, demanding worship and tribute from their mortal subjects. A woman becomes a most wanted person after she kills a mortal. Dun dun dun.
This looks like Gaslamp and Mystery and
It looks right at my
total. I
vibes.
was gonna say this is like very much Hannah Laura vibes.
I know. Oh gosh, I can't wait to read this book. The next up is Small Places by Matthew Samuels. So this, the plot is a boy meets a witch once upon a time. 13 years later, he needs his help finding out what is messing with an earth spirit. So
Ooh.
witches, earth spirits. I
I
also
love
love the
anything
cover
that
of
plays with the
this.
elements, honestly.
The cover of this is like so good. It's like so smoky but watery. Like I
Hmm.
can't pinpoint it, but I just love it so much. Next up is one that has been featured as an author highlight, hopefully soon.
Hmm.
And we have it recorded. I just have to put it into print. But
Hmm.
The Erstwhile Tyler Kyle by Steve Hugh Westenra. I've read the first three chapters of this book, and what
Okay.
a romp. I like it so
Really?
much. It will be, oh gosh. So, a washed up 30-year-old actor and a reluctant cryptid investigator, Tyler is used to playing the Scully to his best friend Josh's Mulder on their stupidly popular YouTube channel. But when Tyler receives previously unseen footage of the B movie bombshell mother who abandoned him 18 years ago, footage linked to an isolated island in the Canadian wilderness, the mystery is one conspiracy he's determined to investigate, but not everything is what it seems. So
Well, this
this
sounds like
one,
perfect fall vibes
I
and
know.
October. So,
And Tyler is like a messy character, so we
ooh,
could definitely go deep dive
go
into
off.
just, yeah, go off on him because he makes so many bad decisions. I love it. So I can't wait for that one to be in this year's lineup. This is the first time we've had this particular book, but Steve
Mhm.
has been on previous indie missions.
Yes, with the Wings
Next,
of Astaroth. Mhm.
yes, next up is Fires of Treason by Michele Quirke. One I couldn't wait to read. Like it just looks so good. Princess Elizabeth has always idolized and supported her older brother, but when Greg is accused of treason and banished, her loyalty to him is tested in ways she could never imagine. Can't
Like,
wait.
is this one a YA? I want to say this one was YA.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Or maybe it's not, and I'm lying to myself. But I remember that this one was in the same lineup as The Marked Princess by E.P.
Oh,
Stobbs. And I want to
yeah.
say Aaron and Michelle are friends, like author friends.
Okay. It might be YA. Let me pull it up. It doesn't say, it just says historical fantasy,
Oh,
but
historical fantasy. Okay.
yeah, but it looks good. Can't wait. And this one, Michelle is
It
so
also has
lovely.
really cool like lettering on the front cover
Oh yeah.
because the word fires almost looks like flame like, which is cool.
And then she has Embers of Fate too. So that's the
Hmm.
next book. Ugh, just great covers. People, make sure you're checking these out over at
Honestly,
ourpod.com.
indie authors get really good covers.
It's because they get to pick
I
them
I
themselves.
know they do such a great job.
And last up on the right bracket, but certainly not least, is Phased by Victoria Tekken.
Tori talks.
Tori, a great YouTuber. Go check out her stuff. But Phased, the book specifically, according to the Department of Domestication and Assimilation, Val and Lila Blackwood are the most dangerous kind of werewolves. Although they were raised in the wild, their true blood heritage has made them little more than experiments for years. Now their freedom depends on their ability to become as human as possible. Thrown into an assimilation school with humans and werewolves who were never known what it means to be wild.
Another urban fantasy.
I know, we're really killing it with the urban fantasies.
We really are in an urban fantasy mood. Look. This is our urban fantasy era.
We can't help it. So, sometimes you just know what you need, and we just need more urban fantasy. So,
you know what? We need to fill that void.
And honestly, we can't go wrong with this. These all look amazing.
All of these books are so, like, the covers are amazing. The descriptions, like the plot breakdowns that you just gave there, they all sound so good. Like, there's no wrong answer for whichever one wins this computer generated AI. We're using AI for this. The only way that we approve of AI use, is
technically we're using Google.com, me saying pick a number 1 or 2.
So we're not doing AI. Then we're not going against Laura's morals here.
No.
Oh, good.
We Googled pick a number 1 or 2. It's very scientific.
Thank goodness.
So first up, Shadow of a Dead God or Empire's Daughter, generating number 1 or 2. All right. And I just want to make sure it's working. All right. The next time I click it, it will be the 1. Okay. It picked number 2.
Number 2. Which one was number 2?
It was Empire's Daughter by Marian.
Empire's Daughter is moving forward.
Bum, bum, bum. All right. Next up. And it was 2 again.
Which is which one?
Revenge Arc.
Revenge Arc. Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have announced. We had Fairy Godmother versus Revenge Arc.
Okay.
And Revenge Arc is moving forward.
Okay. The next bracket is No Land for Heroes versus The Last Memoria.
Bum, bum, bum. And it is No Land for Heroes.
No Land for Heroes.
Number
okay,
1.
So we've got the one side. Let's do the other side now.
All right. The Living Waters versus the Cruel Gods. 13th Hour.
Trudie versus Dani.
And Dani moves forward.
Dani.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. Then we have Small Places versus the Erstwhile Tyler Kyle.
The thing is, I'm never going to be able to say the Erstwhile blah, blah, blah.
Tyler Kyle.
It's
but
such
guess
a tongue twister.
You're going to have to say it for one more round because it's moving forward.
It's such a tongue twister.
I'm so sorry. And then the last one up is Fires of Treason versus Phased. And the Fires of Treason moves forward.
Fires of Treason.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, so on the left side, we've got Empire's Daughter, Revenge Arc, and No Land for Heroes.
So those 3 are going up against each other. 3 great ones. We have historical versus horror versus
and so now
Western.
Pick a number 1 through 3, Google.
Oh my
gosh.
Let's
see if you can do it.
Let's see. And it picked 2. Dun, dun,
2,
dun,
which
dun.
is Revenge Arc.
Revenge Arc by Cat Voleur. Love to see it. And then on the left side, or on the right side, sorry, we have Living Waters versus the Erstwhile Tyler Kyle versus Fires of Treason. I guess it's moving forward. The Fires of Treason.
Fires of Treason. Okay. So is it picking left or right, or how does this work?
So
now at this point.
So based on the way we have this set up, we're having a little bit of movement because in the left bracket, that is the one that is
like kind of below.
It is below, and the right one is above. So I'm calling that 2, and above it, the Fires of Treason is 1. So it's a little bit
Google
of a mix-up.
Picking 1 versus 2. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
like wow, this is for all the marbles, guys. This is so. Can we say that this is really weird to just pick one this fast? Because I know most of the time
is flying.
It takes like weeks for us to pick things.
There's so much anticipation usually where it's like, I can't believe we're gonna know in a matter of literally seconds.
I know, like I just feel so it's weirdly like I'm excited because all of these books are amazing and I can't wait to cover them.
Wrong choices,
but like it's so weird to feel like, oh yeah,
This
it's
happened so
just
fast.
this happened so fast. Like we
It's done.
talked through all of these and it's just done now. But I do want to take a moment before, and sorry for Revenge Arc versus the Fires of Treason, but I want to take a moment to like thank all these authors for always
Yes.
participating in Indie Mission. We appreciate you guys so much. We're sorry this one's a little bit different. It is based on,
Hmm.
our own needs, and we will go back to regularly scheduled content. But we
Hmm.
love every single one of these authors. You guys are all so amazing and so
Everyone's been really
supportive.
supportive of us, and I really hope that you all like continue to support each other the way that you have been, because that's the best part about it, is seeing how the indie authors really lift each other up and
Yes.
how it's just such a great community.
And we
So,
love you guys so much. So we hope
yes.
you like this as much. And without further ado,
One versus two.
Fires of Treason in slot number 1 versus Revenge Arc in slot
Slot
number
number
2.
two.
And
Dun-dun-dun.
it's Fires of
The
Treason.
Fires of Treason.
We are
Michele
covering
Quirke.
Michele Quirke. Congratulations.
Yay.
Woo! Actually, like this has been with us since the beginning, and it's gone
It's
like really
been
far
around a
in
long time.
it's gotten really far in a lot of the voting. So like I'm
Hmm.
excited that this one is the one that got chosen because it
Yay.
is it is nice to have something that has gotten close before
Yes.
and hasn't quite like made it to the one pick that we always have to
I
make.
know.
So this is awesome. Michele, congratulations. This
Michele,
is
we're so excited to read this book.
I can't wait to read it. I love the cover. If you guys remember from a few moments ago,
From
the
a few moments. Think back, listeners,
think
to
back
literally minutes ago.
literally minutes ago. The Fires of Treason. It is about a young girl whose brother is supposed to be, next in line for the throne, and then he is accused of treason, and she has to clear his name, or she has to question everything that has happened before. So this is going to be a good one. It's a little bit
Yeah,
different. It's been a while since we've done like historical
it
fiction
has.
fantasy, so it's a little bit of a
Honestly,
change up.
because I think we're getting back to literally the Marked Princess being
Yeah,
the
exactly.
last one we covered.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be neat to get back into this genre.
I know, I can't wait. So, and maybe we'll find out if it's YA or not.
That's true.
Yeah, we did
I'm going to
ask.
trust you and think that it's not going forward, but
Sounds
I
great.
am always wrong. So
Um,
it probably is, or not. Who knows? I'm
of
not holding
course.
myself to either.
And the page count is 352 pages, so right in our
Okay.
sweet spot. So
Yep.
perfect. Well, Michele, we hope you can make time to come on the
We'll be
podcast.
reaching out.
We will definitely be reaching out. And thank you so much for writing this book. We cannot wait to read about Princess Elizabeth and her brother, Prince Gregory. I do like that he is a man named Prince Greg, though. That makes me
Yeah.
happy.
Well, you know what? We love Greg's on TV shows. So, like
We do love Greg's
Crazy
on TV
Ex-Girlfriend.
shows.
So, you can't go
Hopefully,
wrong with a good Greg.
hopefully he's not treasonous.
Let's
All
hope.
right. Well, thank you all for joining in for another indie mission. We really
And be sure to
appreciate
tune in
you.
when we're covering the plot of
Please
The
do.
Fires of
And
Treason.
maybe check out where we usually do a giveaway of this book.
Yes.
Sometimes with, author editions, if they so choose, never necessary, but always welcome. And make sure you're joining in for that and for covering the plot and characters next month in
Yes.
November. So we do a
It's coming up quick.
giveaway and then we cover it. So be
Hmm.
ready for the next indie mission pick. Also, please make sure that you're rating, reviewing, and subscribing. Check out some of our earlier seasons or other indie missions. We have all the
Yes.
authors up
Because our
on.
last indie mission was last year, I believe, right?
Oh my gosh, was it?
Was
No,
it that
because
long ago?
no, we covered Brian. Brian's
I was
book.
thinking that that was in December. Am I
I,
wrong?
I
My
what
perception
is
of time
time?
is gone.
I mean,
Brian, when did we cover your book?
yeah,
Before
I
the Shattered
guess
Gates of Heaven was our last one,
yeah.
right?
Before yes, it was that was our last one.
It was this
Uh,
year?
I have no what a time, guys.
I don't know what's
Uh,
happening. Oh, Before the Shattered Gates of Heaven is an amazing sci-fi book that we covered. The author is Brian S. Glosmeyer. That was our last indie mission. And then Some of our previous Indie Mission winners were K.E. Andrews, the author of The Assassin of Grins and Secrets, Olivia Hill, the author of I Hunt, E.P. Stubbs, the author of The Marked Princess, and Quimby Olson, the author of Miss Percy's Pocket Guide to the Care and
We've
Feeding
had
of British
every
Dragons.
single one of them on the podcast, and they were all
so
wonderful.
lucky. So lucky to be able to do that.
No, before the Shattered Gates of Heaven was in March and April.
Oh my gosh. Laura has had a year.
Laura has had 5 years, apparently. So, no,
I'm in my own sci-fi world where time is going a lot faster.
I was like, well, we do them between every single book series, and we haven't been covering Dresden for a year. We've been doing it for 6 months.
Is a mess.
But yes, so we've covered some amazing indie authors. Make sure you're checking out all those old episodes as well as new. You can
also
go
back and find some of our previous brackets to find more of these indie authors that we've featured in our indie missions in the past. They're all up on ourpod.com. Books available for you to check out. And you should, because these authors put a lot of hard work in and do amazing things with these works.
Exactly. So please make sure that you're following along. You can check out all of our old Indie Mission brackets at ourpod.com or the current one with a good breakdown of each one. You can also follow us at ourpod.com or at ourpod, OWWR pod on all the social platforms. Hopefully we've been sharing some of these books, kind of highlighting them as we get up for Indie Mission. We're recording this a little bit in the future so that we knew which book we are reading. But we really appreciate all the time and support you guys give us. So check us out over there, and then join us next week for our final foray this year into the Dresden Files, book 6. So it's coming to a close, guys. Very soon we're going to take a break and announce what's coming up next for us, which we have announced before, but we'll probably be
on Patreon.
Patreon. But
so you gotta go there if you want to know.
$5 gets you bonus content, and $10 gets you even more bonus content. But you can also give us $3 support or $1 support.
And $50 gets you a hug, but you have to come to Illinois for it.
Which is pretty huge, because I think I've only hugged Laura maybe 3 times in my entire life. So.
I'll hug you for $50.
Sounds good. I'm seeing you soon, so I'll have the $50 ready. All right, thanks everyone for joining us again, and please make sure you're joining to read Michele Quirke's The Fires of Treason. Bye.
Bye.